We are live. We are going live on YouTube and we are jumping off on TikTok. So welcome in to everybody here as we get going. Super excited, guys. This is our first ever live auction coverage with REA. I'm your host, Gordy Bonker from Bonkers Cards. So welcome in. I will let the chat get going here in the first couple minutes as everyone's getting notified that we're going live. Welcome into the chat, Big J Diesel. I see a number of familiar names joining in. As you guys trickle in, feel free to comment, say hello. Love to see some familiar names into the chat. I'll be watching both chats tonight, guys, on TikTok and YouTube. I am going to be doing some screen sharing here on YouTube to allow for the YouTube viewers to be able to see the screen much more clearly. So if you can, I would highly encourage you to head over to the YouTube channel at Bonkers Cards, as you'll be able to see a much clearer stream. B Diddy, Roger, Big Diesel, what's going on? Feel free to drop some chat into the, again, YouTube comments. You'll see me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? As well as the screen shared on the REA website. Big Bob, what's going on, Big Bob? Hello, Amanda. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all so much. Again, this is our first partnership we're doing with Robert Edwards Auctions. I'm super stoked, guys. If you guys have been following the channel for some time now, you'll know that our specialty here on Bonkers Cards is all about vintage baseball. And these guys at REA Auctions, they have an over 30-year history of truly being the pioneers in the space for vintage baseball. And it is an honor to be able to showcase their June auction. So we've got some mammoth cards in the chat to be able to show off tonight, guys. I'm going to go through basically their top 20 listings. I'm going to show you guys what the big cards are going for, where the bidding is. I'll go through some of the corners, the edges. I'll showcase some of the cards up close and personal right here as I am sharing the screen here on YouTube. So again, welcome everyone into the TikTok chat, but hello YouTube, especially as you guys are going to have the up close and personal view tonight. So shout out to Kevin. Welcome into the show, Kevin. Awesome. So excited to have you. Amanda, so excited. Let's kick it off, guys. So very excited. Again, as always, the comments are in play for everybody, so feel free to check it out and watch. So as you guys might have saw from the initial flyer, and feel free to drop comments into the YouTube channel, guys, if there's any cards that you want to see or any specific cards that you are potentially watching in for the bidding. So on our first card that we have for the night, this was basically one of the big flagship cards, and I actually have a second tab just ready for it here. So this is lot number one. This is the big money, the number one card in their auction, the Mickey Mantle PSA 3 1951 Bowman. Mickey Mantle needs no introduction into the hobby. He is quite literally the darling of the hobby, as many may know. This is an up close and personal view. Let me switch over on the YouTube so that you guys can see it. This card, the 51 Bowman Mantle, is the rookie card for Mickey Mantle. So although the 52 Topps card in recent years has gotten a ton of publicity, as everybody knows, last year, the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle broke the world record for the most valuable sports card. The 51 Bowman is actually his rookie card. So this card is a year older, and this is true rookie card versus the 52 Topps. The 1951 Bowman set is iconic. It has Mickey Mantle, it has Ted Williams, it has Willie Mays, but it is most notable because of this iconic rookie card. So I wanted to bring this in. Again, this is a VG, a grade 3 and a PSA slab. And when you immediately look at this card, there's a couple of notes that come to mind. So you can tell right off the bat that there is some resolution issues. So for anybody that's new to the card grading world, card grading really focuses on a few key elements. You've got the centering of the card, right? How does the card look from left to right and top to bottom, which this card actually does a very good job of. Secondly is the resolution of the card. So how was the card printed onto the card? And that's what I want to point out here, guys, is that you can tell the reason why it is a 3 and not higher right off the bat is the surface. The resolution on this card just wasn't as up to par as some of the other cards. The next thing would be edges and corners. This card actually has excellent edges and corners for a card from 1951. The centering is strong, and you might see a little bit, it looks like here, a little bit of a surface ding right here on the edge. So again, it's in a PSA holder. It is in a very good condition, VG3. And this is the flagship card, guys. That is the big card of this auction, which is super cool. Investicard says 51 Bowman does not have Ted Williams. Interesting. I own a 51 Bowman Ted Williams, I believe. So I will have to go back and double check. But Investicard, I appreciate you joining into the chat. Awesome to see you. Anthony Longo says, A Longs 22 says, this card is beautiful. I couldn't agree more. So let me guys know in the chat what you guys are thinking in terms of if you guys have ever used REA auctions. Feel free to shoot any questions you have. I believe we have some guys over at REA potentially in the chat watching it tonight, which is super cool. We might have some potential bidders and collectors out in the audience, which I love to hear. Got some notes that there's some guys actually actively bidding on some of these listings, which we love to see. I'm going to give a shout out to the YouTube audience. We're up to 16 viewers now in the YouTube audience. We've got about 80 here on TikTok, which is awesome. Everybody watching here on TikTok, remember, you can subscribe over to Bonkers Cards and have a full view screen shared broadcast, which I am on right now over on the YouTube channel for you to watch. Drew Garger, we got a comment here on the YouTube channel. It says, how do we bid on a card if we are interested for it? Drew, that's an excellent question. So what you want to do is head over to robertedwardauctions.com. That is where we have the auction set up. And you'll click on the listing that you want to bid on. So let's say you wanted to bid into the 1934 Lou Gehrig, which I'm about to get into. This is a beautiful Gaudy card from 34. What you'll need to do is enter your bidder number and password. If you don't have a bidder number and password, what you will need to do is sign up to be a auction, basically make a login account for robertedwardsauctions.com. Once you do that, you'll get approved and you'll be able to start your bidding. So thank you so much, Drew, for the comment. Let's see if anybody in the chat is going to be bidding up on any of these cards as we go in. We've got about 30 different lots that I will be covering tonight, guys. But I won't be able to get to everything. And of course, right now I'm showing some of the most iconic flagship cards out of their June auction. But what I would like to call out is that there are plenty of cards, not only in vintage baseball, but also basketball, hockey, football. We have some modern cards in the Robert Edwards June auction. We also have a number of lower end vintage cards. When I say lower end, between anywhere from $50 to $200. It's not all $10,000 and up cards, guys. So appreciate that. We've got a couple of more comments in the chat. I see Investicard says yes. Thinking of someone else. Awesome. Yes, that Ted Williams card is awesome. Brett says, I was very close to buying one, but wasn't sure if it was fake or not. That is one of the benefits of going through REA, guys, is that when you go through Robert Edwards, these guys have some of the best overall, these guys have the best reputation in the hobby, especially when it comes to vintage baseball. So you know that you're buying the real thing if you ever buy from REA. So the next card that I wanted to showcase in this lot, guys, it's lot number 2. It is a gorgeous 1934 Lou Gehrig Gaudy card number 61. So obviously the Gaudy set is one of the most famous baseball card sets of all time. The Gaudy set is the first set to ever feature bubblegum in their baseball cards. That was in 1933. So the 1934 Gaudy is the second year that they produced Gaudy cards. Lou Gehrig does have a card in 1933, but this is his 1934 card. In the 1934 Gaudy card, it's also important to call out, guys, that in 1934, there were 2 different Lou Gehrig cards. This card here, the card is number 61, is actually the more rare of the 2. You might be familiar with the yellow portrait version of Lou Gehrig from 1934. Another stunning example of the card, but important to call out that this card is actually more rare than the other one in 1934 in terms of population report. So want to be able to kind of get deeper into the actual card in terms of the grade real quick, guys, because again, want to go through just how stunning some of these cards are. This is an SGC5. And again, for anybody that's watching that might be new and trying to understand the grading principles, SGC and PSA are the 2 big players in the card grading industry. SGC is favored among vintage collectors, especially recently. Anybody who's been a fan of Bonkers Cards content for a while will know I am a huge SGC guy. So when you look at this card in an SGC5, that is an absolutely beautiful example of the card. And I want to call out why it received a 5. If you can see here, when you look at the card, the centering is fantastic. Left to right and top to bottom, the card was really printed and centered well. So the surface and centering do very well. You'll notice some little bit of color discoloration, which is pretty typical for the time in the 1930s. I mean, this card is coming up on 100 years old, so you will see some fading on the borders. But the print and surface looks excellent. The corners are very strong for a card from this set, and very different from the 51 Bowman Mantle we just showed. The resolution on this card is fantastic. So really cool card. Again, this is the number 2 lot of the REA June auction. We've got a couple comments here. We've got Drew. Love the Iron Horse. Absolutely, Drew. I mean, it's hard to. Many people can wonder what could have been of Lou Gehrig's career if his career didn't stop short due to ALS. But truly, he is one of the greats. He's a Yankee legend. If you look at some of the stats that Lou Gehrig put up in his career, it's absolutely fantastic. So just really cool to get to see. JV Huvel says in the TikTok chat, guys, a 5 is impressive for a 34 Gaudy. And absolutely couldn't agree more there, JV Huvel. Dolomite, what is going on? Kramer's card mentioned earlier in our discussion with the 51 Bowman set that does not feature Jackie Robinson or Stan Musial. It did, in fact, feature Ted Williams. So we got a comment here from Matt Pampin. Very cool Gehrig card. Looks like the chat loves Gehrig. We are going to move as I continue the coverage here, guys. Going to jump around a little bit in and out of vintage baseball. Want to give a shout out to any of my basketball fans that might be in the audience tonight. In the REA auction, they also have some beautiful vintage basketball. So I wanted to give a shout out here on this. This is lot number 6. This is the iconic 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. Kevin says, yes, this is a beautiful card. Could not agree more there. Kevin, it is the iconic Michael Jordan rookie, and I'm going to get an up close and personal view of it here now. The 86 Fleer set is one of those sets that really propelled basketball collectibles and sports cards. This set is especially iconic because it features MJ's rookie. This card has been in debate of recent years because recently PSA decided to start grading the 1984 star rookie of Michael Jordan. So the card is often debated if whether or not this is truly Michael Jordan's rookie. I personally think it's okay to have 2 different rookie cards. I think both parties can be correct. But when we look at this example of the PSA 6, it looks to me like the centering could be a little off left to right. Some would call it 70-30 centering, meaning 70% over to the left side, a little bit more on the right side of the card. You do see a little bit in this bottom left corner here, some white showing. You can kind of see the white on the bottom left corner. We've got some fans in here of basketball cards. Carol, awesome. Paris, love basketball cards. Yes. We do see a lot of crossover. My audience typically has a lot of baseball guys, but basketball collectibles are certainly one to keep note of. So I love this card. This card is lot number 6. The current bid for this PSA Jordan is, do we have a live bid update on this? If I go back, I will be able to see where we're at currently on the bid for that. The current bid on that Jordan is $2,900. The 2 cards we checked out before, the Bowman Mantle is at $12,500 and the Lou Gehrig is at $8,500. So we do have some basketball in here, guys, as well as some hockey. So we'll get to the hockey in a minute as well because we do have some classic vintage Hall of Famers there. Wanted to stop in real quickly over here. A-Longs, yes, basketball. Love seeing some new stuff. Yes, for all you guys on Bonkers Cards, you know I'm typically all about the vintage baseball, but that does not mean that I won't maybe, I think, depending on what you guys are thinking, would love to get maybe into some old vintage basketball in the future. So love that comment. Thank you, A-Longs. So appreciate that, guys. Appreciate all the new followers into the TikTok chat tonight. Looks like we've got a good audience in here over on TikTok, which we'd love to see. As we keep moving forward here on the REA coverage of their June auction, guys, again, just a reminder, all bids must be in by 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is when extended bidding starts for the Robert Edwards auction. So if you are interested in putting a bid in on any of these cards, what you'll need to do is get a bid in before 9 p.m. Once 9 p.m. hits, we'll go into the extended bidding period of the auction. And so anybody who has put a bid into a card will be allowed to continue to bid at that point. So yes, Amanda Lewis, get your bids in. I love it. And so as we go into lot number 3 here, guys, this is a card. I find this card to be stunning. This card is the 1909-11 T206 white border Walter Johnson hands-on chest. This is in an SGC 5. So for all of you guys, oh, and I missed this comment earlier. Earl says he has a Jordan rookie. Awesome, Earl. Would love to know what grade your Jordan rookie is in. So for the T206 set here, guys, this is the Walter Johnson hands-on chest. So there are 2 different variations of the Walter Johnson card. You have the playing shot, which is pretty typical of this set. Some players had as much as 4 different variations from the early 1900s. So this is the more of the playing variation of Walter Johnson versus his true portrait shot. His portrait shot, many of you may know, it is the beautiful yellow background. This is, of course, the same set as the famous T206 card of Honus Wagner. So for those of you that are familiar with Honus Wagner, it's worth mentioning that Robert Edwards actually auctioned off the T206 Honus Wagner card. Just recently, last year, they auctioned off a T206 Wagner that fetched $1.6 million. So pretty cool to get to see that. But this here is a T206 Walter Johnson. This card is currently at bid. I wouldn't be surprised if this card doubles from where it sits right now. $2,900 is the current bid, but it's in an SGC 5 of one of probably arguably the top 5 pitchers of all time. So I can imagine that card can continue to fly up in the coming minutes here, or in the coming hours, I should say. Want to hop around a little bit out of that era of the T206s. There are some other T206s that we could cover, and feel free. I love the big train. Love the knowledge there. Big train. Yes, Walter Johnson, the big train, Drew Gardner. I love to see that. So if we go over to the 1953 tops, this is lot number 5. This is, in my opinion, one of the most visually appealing top sets ever made. Everyone knows here I'm a big 1954 tops guy, but I think 1953 tops is probably on my Mount Rushmore of top sets. Lot number 5 features a beautiful PSA 4, very good, excellent grade Willie Mays. This is an early year playing card of Willie Mays. Mays rookie, I believe, is 1951 Bowman. So this is his 3rd year card of Willie Mays. Absolutely love to see this. Very cool. This card, again, if we were to briefly go through the grading, I actually think that it's centered quite nicely, has great eye appeal, and the corners are pretty strong. You'll notice some printing malfunctions here. These dots are actually how they came from the factory. That's actually quite typical from the printing technology that was in the 50s. So JJ Spider says, MJ rookie, what's it at? I will go back to that. J Pick says, the optics look better than a 4 on this card. And yes, J Picks, I will get into that in just a second here. J Pick. So J Pick says, yes, the optics of this card look better than a 4. And I will actually agree with you. The reason why it did get a 4, and I can say this with some level of confidence, is that the color of this card is actually quite faded. If you were to compare this to a PSA 8 or 9 example, one of the things that will immediately jump out at you is the color. So you'll notice his uniform is more of like a beige, and the color of the border of his uniform almost looks yellow. The logo in his New York Giants cap looks yellow. This is not the way that the card would actually present. That would be more of a darker orange, but just because of the card, potentially maybe it was in light, it sat in a display case for a long time before getting graded. It could be any of different things, but the surface and the color, which I believe would fall into the registration or the surface grade, is what brought this down to a 4. The yellow still pops on the bottom here. You'll notice the outfielder sign. So very cool, but that is definitely what brought it to a 4. Optics look better than 4. And JJ Sater says, MJ rookie, what is it at? I'm going to jump back for you, JJ. Thank you so much for joining the chat tonight, JJ. Let's take a look. The current bid on the MJ rookie is at $2,900. Again, you need to get your bids in before extended bidding starts at 9 p.m. So you want to check that out if you are interested, JJ Spider. Andrew Paul says, you having a big night with selling cards tonight? Yes, we do have a big night lined up. As you guys are probably aware, for anyone who's been following the channel, we do have the 1954 top set break. That's going off tonight. And then we have additional cards as well that will be available on the channel. So with that, I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple of absolutely stunning examples of 1954 tops. 1954 tops, obviously, if you've been following my content for a while, you'll know this is my favorite set. They have some top tier 54 tops cards here, guys. So wanted to show some of these off. Lot number 34 features the number 1 Ted Williams card. The number 1 Ted Williams card is this one here is the orange. This card is considered what is known as the bookend card, the number 1 and the number 250. So Ted Williams starts and finishes the set. Here's the number 250 card of the 1954 Topps. This will be part of the Bonkers Card set break that we're doing tonight. So be sure to check that out after the coverage of the REA auction tonight, guys. You will want to head over to watch who wins the Hank Aaron, the Ted Williams, and many of the other 50s Hall of Famer. What I will say here, this Ted Williams card, I mean, it is beautiful. To see a PSA 7 from the 50s is quite rare. For any set builders that are trying to build the most competitive set in the PSA registry, this will be a big card to go after. Also want to call out that there are some other big 54 Topps cards in this set. We have the Al Kaline rookie available. Let's see what this card is currently bidding at. This card is currently bidding at $2,200. Sitting right next to it in an SGC3 is my number one favorite card, the 1954 Topps SGC3 Hank Aaron rookie card. So, wow, that is a nice 3. Let me know in the chat what you guys think, but I actually think this is quite undergraded. When I first look at it, the color and resolution look fantastic. What I'm curious about this, we do see a little bit of, I don't know if that's a crease or a scratch on the surface of the card. Maybe that is what's bringing it down, but overall, the resolution and the centering, the color as well, it's quite white on the borders, maybe some edge wear, but that is a very difficult grade 3. And SGC has been grading quite harder. And let's check out the back, guys. The backs are always just as important as the front. So we do see some edge wear. You'll notice there's a nick right here that could certainly be hurting it. Yes, we have a comment here. Drew says, it looks like a 4.5 to me. If you were to block the grade, it could certainly be a 4.5. And A Longs, can't go wrong with Hank. No, you cannot. Hank is one of my favorites to invest and collect into the hobby. So let's go back to the front card. JPix has especially been the number one card. So let's see here. I've got a couple of comments that we got to follow up with in the TikTok chat. So let's go back, guys, and check this out. The TikTok chat, Andrew Paul says, I've put a big bid on a 33 Babe PSA 3.5. So would love to know, Andrew, is that in the REA auction currently, or is that on another auction house platform? That's awesome. We're going to cover the Babe Ruths in a minute here. I'll take that day. Any compared to bent corners over right increases. JPix, I think that was in regards to the maze. Greats man HWW says, congratulations on the sellout. I missed it Saturday. Have fun. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome set break. Especially being the number one card. Yes, we were talking about the Ted JPix. That Ted is super cool for being the number one card. Paris says definitely undergraded. I couldn't agree more there. Okay, Andrew says a different auction house. Awesome. All right, so speaking of the 33 Gaudies, Andrew, maybe you'll catch your eye on maybe one of these. We actually have all 4 of the 33 Gaudi Babe Ruths up for auction currently. And there are we will start, where do we want to start? I think we will start with the full stance. The full stance is the most populated of the 4 in the PSA Pop report of Babe Ruth. So in terms of population report, that typically correlates with affordability. So this is the most affordable Babe Ruth and what REA likes to call collector's grade. So anything lower grade 1, 2, or 3 typically can be referred to as collector's grade. This allows for a more affordable way to get into some of the most iconic cards of all time. Yes, Anthony Argula says the GOAT. I agree. Babe Ruth's my GOAT. I love Babe Ruth. The standing variation is up for sale. Typically, you can get into those cards sometimes for under $4,000, and I'd love to see where we're currently at with the bid. For $4,400, it's already exceeded that. And the reason why, most likely, is because that card is well-centered and has a strong eye appeal, so that's not surprising at all. In terms of the next rare, I will shoot over to the red back. The red back or the green back would be the next rare. This red back, this is a gorgeous example of this card. This is a card that's on my personal bucket list. I really want the red number 149 Babe Ruth. When I think of Babe Ruth, I do think this card kind of, for whatever reason, speaks to me. I love the color. I love the fact that he's swinging in it. So we've got here George Herman, the Babe Ruth. You'll see some surface damage. That actually looks like a fingerprint right on the card. It just looks solid. And the centering on this card is great. So you'll hear oftentimes vintage collectors talking about eye appeal. Would love to know what you guys think in the chat, guys. But to me, that is an eye appeal. This is a high eye appeal card. That is a very nice Babe Ruth Gaudi. So absolutely love to see that. So we'll jump over, and again, we'll talk on what the bid is on this card currently. I love that card, man. That is at $9,750 in an SGC 1.5. So let's see where that finishes by the end of the night. That's going to keep going. We've got the Gehrig, the 33 Gaudy Gehrig. I'm actually going to jump to this real quick. So we were talking about the 34 Gaudy. This is the 33 Gaudy. Just a quick view on this one. This is what many people view of the Lou Gehrig card. This is an iconic Gehrig. So beautiful card there. That is, we'll read that. The current bid's 3,300. So the next one I'm going to go into is the greenback, and we'll finish with the yellow back in terms of all the Babe Ruth. So again, you guys, if somebody's out there looking to invest into a Babe Ruth collection, they do have all 4 of the 33 Gaudis in this auction. So the collector's grades are available. This isn't an SGC1, but this is my kind of SGC1. Centering's a little off left to right, but one of the things that I like about this is that there's no damage. There's no tears. There's no immediate deep creases. You'll see a light crease in the top right corner, and the edges are a little soft. But overall, the resolution's good. I always care about the face. If there's no creasing in the face, that's totally fine by me. And yeah, I mean, this is an iconic image of the Babe as well. Many people love the greenback. The color really pops there. I'll take a show off the back of the card real quick. Love reading the backs of some of these cards. Yeah, and you can see that centering left to right is a little bit off. But one of the keenest students of baseball, New York Yankees home run star Babe Ruth. I mean, that is just history. So we will jump over to another card here. Andrew says, I want one so bad. 3.5 PSA is going to make me pay up for it. Yes, a 3.5 will definitely run you, Andrew. So good luck on that auction. Very, very much wishing you the best there. Nicholas Fueling says, eye appeal and centering is super important. Same grade doesn't mean same price. And that couldn't be more important. I wish I had you over on the YouTube channel there, Nicholas, to drop that comment. I'd love to share that on the YouTube channel, but absolutely right. Eye appeal and centering is so critical, especially when we talk about the set. So for the final card, guys, we're going to go into the yellow back, the card number 53. This is a PSA grade authentic Babe Ruth. So this actually scored below a 1 grade. This just confirmed as authentic, and immediately you'll kind of get an understanding of why. Part of it is because the surface and the color is so faded. Hello, everyone. A Collector's Dream says, hello, Collector's Dream. Welcome into the coverage here on REA. We're here on the June auction. Checking out these Babe Ruth Gaudy cards. So this is the most rare of the 4 Babe Ruths from 1933, the yellow back. This card always goes for a premium, but you will notice that this card is the lowest bid currently because of the condition of this card, again, being what REA likes to call collector grade. So you can still make out all the text on the card. You can, of course, still see the Babe, but this card has seen some sunlight. It might possibly have been in a bicycle spoke a time or two in the past. So this is the final one. I do love the yellow card as well. I do think the yellow and the red are my 2 favorite. If you just check this out, man, it is a relic. It is a piece of not only baseball history, but American history. So the current bid on this card sits at $2,500. To get into a authentic Babe Ruth Gaudy at $2,500 is unheard of. That's absolutely insane. So super cool there. Yeah, we're going to keep rolling here, guys. If there's any other cards that you guys specifically had questions about, feel free to drop it. Oh, here's a gorgeous example. This is a yellow back Babe Ruth. Wow. Let's take a minute to look at this one. The 33 Gaudy again. This one will go. Let's see what the current bid is on this. This is at $6,250. So a grade 1.5 versus the A. It's already a $4,000 difference. And again, the most rare of the 3. We'll see that the center is a little off, but that is a beauty right there. Very cool. So we have hit on a lot of vintage baseball, and again, want to give a quick shout out to both our basketball and our hockey fans out there. So I will check in right here. 0506, we've got an Alexander Ovechkin PSA 10 Gem Mint rookie. So this guy's here, Upper Deck does have the exclusive rights to hockey. You won't see any Upper Deck, or you won't see any hockey cards with licensing on any other provider other than Upper Deck. Upper Deck is the manufacturer that you want to have, and the 05 Alexander Ovechkin card that you see here is a stunning PSA 10. So for you hockey collectors out there, the current bid on the Ovechkin is $3,900, which is awesome. So as you scroll through and see some more of the big names here tonight, guys, want to pop into a couple of more iconic sets. I showed off earlier the Walter Johnson, which we got some love in the chat for Wojo, which I absolutely love to see. We've got the hands on the chest and lot number 3. But if you head over to lot number 15, you'll actually see Walter Johnson's other T206 card. This card is one of my favorite cards, period. In any collection, in the T206 collection, it's easily top 4 favorite card of mine. Guys, it is the portrait card of Walter Johnson, arguably one of the top 4 pitchers ever to play the game. This is in a PSA 3, PSA very good PSA 3 condition. Wojo, as he's referred to. And let's take a look at the back, because of course the backs on these cards are incredibly important and collectible. Collector's Dream says, love the Wojo portrait, and I couldn't agree more. This card is iconic. I'm actually working on trying to acquire one of these myself. The 3 is just a stunning example. So the back of this is the Sweet Capital Cigarettes brand. So you guys will see Baseball Series 150 subjects, and you also see the factory number on the bottom here. So just as collectible as the front of these T206 cards, guys, is actually the backs. There are over, I want to say 20 different backs. I could be wrong. If there's anybody in the chat that knows the exact number of backs in the T206 collection, feel free to drop it into the comments on either the YouTube or the TikTok channel. Appreciate everybody for smashing the like button as well over here on the TikTok channel. We're about to hit 5,000 likes on the TikTok channel, which is awesome. We've got a ton of viewers over on the YouTube and TikTok combined, which is super cool. But continuing on the T206 backs, the Sweet Cap is one of the more common backs. You'll see Sweet Cap, you'll see Sweet Cap, and I'm drawing a blank on the other right now. It'll come back to me. Polar Bear is one of the less frequently seen, but they are still pretty common. Sweet Cap is one of your more typical. Piedmont is the other back. Thank you. If I couldn't get that on my own, it was going to drive me nuts. 16 backs are on the T206 set, says a collector's dream. Thank you. I knew we'd have an expert in here. Andrew Paul says, do you do this for a living or is this a hobby? This is my favorite hobby. I love this. I love baseball cards. I love sports cards. So Andrew Paul, thanks for the comment. Bambino says, still one of the most complex sets ever produced. I couldn't agree more. It is quite crazy to go through a T206 checklist. There's so many variations. There's so many backs. There's so many iconic players. Let's check out another portrait. I personally like the portraits the best from T206s versus the action shots, as I've spoken about prior. What I would like to try to do is maybe I'll try to find a rare back. We got a comment from Andrew. You're a good, honest dude. I love watching and making fair deals with you. Andrew, I appreciate that comment. Thank you guys all so much in the chat for coming in, supporting, watching this REA live coverage. Super stoked to have you guys in here. Andrew, it's been awesome having you be a part of the group and always checking on to the live stream. So thank you. So the T206 Ty Cobb, this is another collector fan favorite. This one is an SGC1. Pretty quickly, you could say this card could be undergraded. If you block the grade on this, this could have been a 1.5. Let me just check the back to make sure there's not anything crazy. Okay, we see some staining on the bottom left corner of this card, but overall, you really do. Okay, there's a little bit of a stain there. Piedmont, this is the other more common one. So this is currently at $2,500. That's a great price for a T206 Cobb, really is. So love all the comments, guys. Thank you so much, Robert Masso. Good job, Gordy. Thank you. Love the Wojo portrait. Man, what is your go-to card to collect, Aaron Cisco? I was talking about it earlier. The 54 Topps has been my favorite card to collect for quite some time, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Bambino says, yes, that is a stunner of a 1 Cobb. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more there. So sticking with the Wojo theme tonight, another awesome Walter Johnson card. This set, I've never owned a Cracker Jack set yet, or a Cracker Jack card yet, I should say. But I am hoping to one day land a Cracker Jack card. These cards are beautiful. They feature some of the most biggest players in the history. Kevin, thank you so much. Kevin Cullen, I enjoy your live streams. You always have great cards. Thank you so much. Man, the Cracker Jack set, this is one of the more iconic vintage sets ever. Walter Johnson, a beautiful example of this card here. And we'll show the back for the whole group here. Looks like the scan actually came in upside down here. I'm not going to try to read that, but the back looks good. Looks like there's a little stain on the bottom of the card, but overall, beautiful card here. And we have that currently at auction at $6,750 over at REA. So we'll keep it moving. Wanted to go through, we went through the 54s, we went through the Gaudis, was able to touch on a couple of the T206s. So I want to hit a couple other the T26s that I saw earlier now that I have some time. The playing card variation of the Ty Cobb, this is the bat on the shoulder. There are a couple different T206 Cobbs on top of different T206 backs. So you'll see this is a sweet cap back. This card will go for a little bit less than the typical portrait. This is in a PSA 2.5. The current bid is $4,500. So again, guys, you want to make sure that you get your bids in before 9 p.m. tonight. So our live stream, our coverage is going to end at 8 p.m. That'll give you guys another hour to go through robertedwardsauctions.com. Place your bids in. You want to get the bids in before 9 because that's when extended bidding is going to start. So I will be covering another 25 minutes of some of the big cards from this set. And then we're going to be able to let you guys get to it and push into your bids. So this is another fine example of Ty Cobb. So we've got some great Cobbs, some great Walter Johnsons in this collection. But one of the cards that I wanted to quickly stop on, this for any hardcore T206 collector or vintage collector, this is a big bucket list card. And for those that might be newer to the hobby or not as deep into the vintage set, you might be kind of scratching your head. Well, I don't really know who Ray Demmett is. Ray Demmett is featured here on the St. Louis Browns. This is a playing card. I believe Ray Demmett, I want to say, might have been a manager or a playing manager. And we'll check the back here. Somebody help me out in the chat if he was a playing manager. But it is a polar bear back. This is a up-close view of the back. So we'll see a little crease from the bottom right corner, some edge wear on the bottom left. Overall, though, still very legible. And polar bear backs are super cool, guys, because polar bear was loose cut tobacco. So typically cards that were in polar bear tobacco packs were a little bit more beat up because of the tobacco staining. But you'll see this card's in pretty fair condition. Yes, here we go. Collector's Dream. He's on it. This is a short print card. I want to briefly go and just give some explanation as to why Ray Demmett would be yielding. Let's see what the current bid is. $5,250 for a PSA 2. So that the reason why this is a $5,000 card right now, we'll go for much more over the next couple hours. It was short printed because he was, I believe, traded in the middle of the season. So there weren't a lot of cards that correctly had what team that he was on. So this card has always been a sought after card in the T206 collection. It's super cool to see one of these in the REA auction. That is what you're going to get at REA. You're going to get the deep vintage collectors. You're going to get those super cool T206 cards. Here's another example of a action shot card. This is not a portrait, but it is of one of the more iconic pitchers. He needs no introduction. You know his name, Cy Young. Glove shows on this one. That's what they call it. We've got a comment from Bambino. I love the 1887 old Judge cards. Couldn't agree more. Love those cards as well, Bambino. You'll see some staining on the back of this one, but still a really cool card. And I love seeing Cy Young in the hobby at any point. I would love to get some more Cy Young cards. And I missed this comment earlier from Matt Ham. Why is the Honus Wagner T206 so rare? We don't have any Wagners in this auction, but REA has auctioned off Wagners in the past. The Wagner is very rare because he actually requested to have his card withdrawn from production once he found out that it was going to be sold with tobacco. He was not for the sale of tobacco products. He wanted his card removed. So I believe there are only roughly 60 cards that we know in existence of the Honus Wagner. I have another highlight card I want to bring over now, guys. We're going to get out of the pre-war era. We're going to get a little bit closer to the 50s here. 1949 Bowman, number 50, Jackie Robinson. This is a stunner of a card. I'm just going to leave this here for a moment for anybody that's a huge fan or collector of Robinson stuff. I'm a big Jackie fan. I hope to get one of these in my collection one day. This is probably a top 5 card that I've seen in the auction tonight. The SGC 2.5 grade, honestly, I could have seen this have also gotten graded higher. But many argue the 49 Bowman is rookie. He does have a 1948 Leaf rookie. That card is not as aesthetically pleasing as the 49 Bowman here. You see his full Dodgers uniform, which I'm a huge fan of. He's wearing his Dodgers cap. We'll get a much more deeper zoom in of this card now. Love the flash of the red in the blue background. So this card is currently a bid at $3,800. So you'll want to see that. We have a couple other Jackie Robinsons here. This is another card that many will argue is his rookie, actually. This is 1948 Swell Bubblegum Sport Thrills Jackie Robinson. It's in PSA 3. So right away, you do notice that it is a little bit off printed. It's kind of slanted down, but really cool image Jackie playing here. PD's card collection. Now we're talking. He loves his Jackie Robinson. Love to see that. Card PD's card collection. Love to see that. Zachary Baseball, what website are you on? I am doing coverage of Robert Edwards Auctions, REA, robertedwardsauctions.com. They have their June auction. So this is the final night of bidding for some of these awesome cards here, guys. So you want to head over to robertedwards.com, put in your bids before 9 p.m. tonight, Zach. Thanks for joining, Zach. Ironically, Wagner's 48 Leaf features him with Tobacco Chew. Bambino, that is an awesome comment. I did not realize that. And thank you so much for dropping that. That's super cool. So yeah, this 48 Swell Thrills Jackie Robinson PSA 3, it's at $3,300 the bid right now. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if that gets a little bit higher. Do want to give a couple more jumps into some vintage guys. And we're going to go back to hockey. Collector's Dream, yes, loves the Sport Thrills Jackie. So we actually just hit 6,000 likes on the TikTok channel. So awesome, guys. Thank you all so much for all of the likes over on TikTok. And thank you all so much for joining and subscribing over on the YouTube channel. Again, guys, you want to stick around tonight. We are doing our 1954 Top Set break. We've got some awesome cards over on Bonkers Cards. So we'll keep moving along, and I appreciate everybody who took some time out of their Sunday evening. Thank you as well to all the fathers who are joining. Happy Father's Day to all of you. Hopefully, maybe you guys might see a Father's Day present for yourself that you want to jump on here. We've got the 1979 Wayne Gretzky Topps card, PSA 6. This is a beauty. Wayne Gretzky, this is the Topps card of his iconic rookie. For me, I've actually considered purchasing this card before. I think this is one of the staple cards in the hobby. For a hockey fan, this card in the image is iconic. I do want to, if anyone also, so I'm actually getting a comment coming through, a message coming through over from my friends at REA. We have somebody trying to bid on one of the cards, and they're having issues getting a bid in. So if the REA team maybe could just get connected with them. If you want to shoot a DM message directly to the REA support, they'd be happy to help get that all covered for you, because we certainly want to make sure that your bid can get in before bidding ends. Awesome to hear that you guys are picking it up and looking to throw some bids in. You do have a little bit of time to get it straightened out. I know the Robert Edwards team is watching, and I know they do have a customer support function. If there are issues getting the bids in, feel free to let me know. If anyone else has placed a bid, feel free to drop a comment. We have some old Judge cards. Somebody did mention that they were looking for some old Judge cards. So we do have some old Judge cards here that I'm looking at on the REA website tonight. Jack Rowe, Sam Wise, Tom Gunning. These guys, these are dead ball era players. Bidder number 609397 for the REA guys. That's what somebody just messaged me. So the turn of the century cards are awesome. And we've got some postcards here as well. These are currently a bid at $170. A 1907 Chicago Cubs postcard. This is the type of stuff that you just, I love to get to see this. This is not stuff that you'll always see on my channel anyway. That is a 1907 Cubs postcard in an SGC slab. That is not stuff you see every day. That is awesome. So a little bit of everything and different price points. That's only at $170 right now, guys. We do have a Sweet Cap Domino disc, more on the Walter Johnson theme tonight. Check out Sweet Cap cigarettes, a disc, Domino, very cool. All sorts of different memorabilia and things that you can bid on. So I'm going to jump over and we'll keep looking through some of the big lots here. We cut on the T206s, MJ. We talked about the Ovechkin. I want to keep moving a little bit further down because I do think we've got a Wagner. Yes, here we go. Lot number 94. Check this card out, guys. Awesome. So you could say that you have a T. So this is a 1909 E95. So it's not a T206. It's an E95, but still, it's the same year range as the T206 Wagner. So you could say you have a 1909 Wagner. So very cool. And that is an action shot of him at the bat. Wagner was a brute Huge guy for a shortstop. They called him the Flying Dutchman. And this card is currently bid at 8,500. It's a good eye appeal too. Check out some of the other players that are featured in this set. Plank, Wagner, Morgan, Mathewson, Doyle, Johnny Evers. So some big names on this set. Want to jump over to the comments here on TikTok for a second here. JJ Spider says, I have a Ty Cobb signed Christmas card. That is awesome. Would love to get a chance to see that. And guys, you'll be able to click through and see multiple pages here. So there's pages and pages of stuff for you guys to be able to look through. We do have a couple of different bids or lots that feature multiple cards. I'm going to jump back to the first page and just highlight some of the key auction pieces. Maybe for some of you that might be late as well, that didn't see the top of the hour coverage. We'll jump to that in a minute. Somebody here drops a comment. What is this app called? James, this is REA, Robert Edwards Auctions. They're one of the largest auction houses. They've got their June auction ending tonight. So Bambino, he's got a Cobb signed check as well. So we've got some big Cobb collectors in the chat tonight. Love to see that. And appreciate everybody for smashing that like button. We're actually passing 7,000 likes. So thank you guys all much for all of the engagement that we've seen in it. We're going to jump over to, I think this will probably be the highest graded T206 card in the lot. We'll check through and make sure of it. But you just don't see 1910 Piedmont cigarette. This is a SGC 7. A collector's dream. What are the top items in the auctions? We'll run through the top in a minute. So it's hang tight collector's dream. We'll get right over there. So this is Addy Joss. This is another Hall of Famer. SGC 7 near mint. I mean, you don't see that on these cards quite often. I guess if you were to nitpick it, you do see a little bit of a stain in that top right corner, but the edges are sharp, corners are sharp, and overall, just a stunning example of this card. And I'll show the back just for you guys that are into the T206. The current bid on this is $4,700. It is a Piedmont back. Awesome. So yeah, so we did have a comment over on YouTube. A collector's dream wants to know what are the items in the top items in the auction. So again, I will run over to the top here. Current bidding, I'm just going to give it a refresh to make sure, because when we last clicked, we were at 12,500 on the mantle. Yes, the mantle PSA 3 VGs in 12,500. This is the number one lot, collector's dream. It is the Mickey Mantle 1951 Bowman, his true rookie in a PSA very good 3 condition. So that is the number one card. And then I will back out here. Robert Edwards, a few other T206 SGC 7s. And here we go, right beneath it here. We'll click in. Frank Chance. It's so awesome. You don't always see an SGC 7. And to have multiple of them in the June auction for the Robert Edwards guys, I mean, what a beautiful collection of SGC 7s. So we do have another one that I'll jump to in a second here. But Frank Chance, just absolutely stunning card. This is lot number 9. This is lot number 9. Frank Chance, a Hall of Fame player on the Chicago Cubs. We were checking out some really cool Cubs history earlier. Again, the Piedmont back. So shout out REA jumping in the chat. Love to see you guys in here. Let's hop over to another one here. We've got Hughie Jennings. This is the other on the top of the listings here for a collector's dream. He was looking to ask what the top ones are. We've got Hughie Jennings. I love this card. He's really shown a lot of emotion. The Detroit Tiger. Both hands showing. He does have a portrait card as well. Hughie Jennings and a near mint, again with the Piedmont back. The current bid sits at $2,400 for this card. The T206 set, guys, has been one of the hottest sets over the last couple of years. It's just gained so much interest, and it's hard. I mean, it's very easy to understand why. The artwork that goes into these cards are just phenomenal. So now we'll jump over to another T206 set, which is really a stunner of a card. You know, typically I like the portrait cards better than the action shots. This is one of the few examples where I actually think I like the action shot of this card better than the portrait of this player, and that is Christy Mathewson. Christy Mathewson is right there with Walter Johnson and Cy Young for this era. It is just hard to contend with these guys in terms of their career stats and impact on the game. This is what is referred to as the dark cap Christy Mathewson card. I believe there's 3 or 4 variations of this card. But this is a beauty. I think there might be a white cap as well. And here's a fun back. This is not your typical sweet cap or Piedmont. It is a polar bear back. Centering on the back looks fantastic. There is a little bit of staining, as I mentioned. Polar bear was loose cut tobacco. As you'll see here, the best scrap tobacco. So this was loose tobacco in the backs of the card. So it typically did often stain these cards, guys. So to have it in a 3 VG and the color on this card be as sharp as it is and deep as it is, that is very cool. So we'll drop it down again and we'll continue to search through. And we'll jump over to another Ty Cobb because we do have a couple of Ty Cobb collectors. Bambino says, I have 118 graded T206s. Unbelievable. Love to see that, Bambino. Bambino, I'm going to give you the follow back. I believe you're following me, but I'll shoot you a follow back. Would love to get connected with you and talk on those T206s. So lot number 17 features a set of 30 E98. So we were showing the E98 earlier of an SGCA orange background Cobb. It doesn't show why it got an SGCA. Kind of stunned it did. My immediate thought is when I see a card that has this type of resolution, this type of coloring, and then additionally that type of centering, for it to be an A, I would have thought it would say evidence of trimming, but I don't know why I would have gotten an A. This card is absolutely gorgeous. The current bid, wow, check that out, guys. All of the players from that set right here. There's some big names in the E98 set. The current bid is $2,000. So $2,000 on that E98. That's a stunner. So we do have some more Christy Mathewson that we can go through. I wanted to highlight these guys because this is something that, again, you don't see every day. This is lot number 26, 1941 play ball. This is an uncut strip of 1941 play ball cards. So, guys, when typically these cards were printed, they were printed on larger sheets of cardboard, right? And then they were cut, oftentimes with an actual hand cut in the early days card trimmer. What's really cool on this, guys, this hasn't been cut. So this is exactly how they came in. What you'll notice here, we've got Ted Williams on the end of this. So really cool. As a collector, you can do what you want with it once you receive it. I do believe that some people have actually cut these cards out of uncut sheets. I think it's pretty cool just to leave it as is. And I'm sure whatever collector, whatever they choose to do with it, I mean, that is just not something that you see much of existence. Robert Edwards, thank you so much for the comment here. REA says, we'll have more of these uncut strips available in upcoming auctions. Hey guys, I want to show off lot number 27 really quick. Speaking of more of these uncut sheets, because you might notice a pretty big name here. And he features not once, but twice. This is a cut that has both two Joe DiMaggios, not one, but two, as well as a Lefty Gomez and a Bill Dickey, two Bill Dickey cards. So how about that? The current bid on that is $2,800. That is a really cool piece of history to see two Joe D cards in an uncut sheet. That is awesome. For those of you familiar with the Bonkers Cards channel, this card also should ring familiar. One of my favorites, the 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson card. So this is lot number 33. And guys, this is beautiful. I mean, the centering, I guess, is a little off top to bottom. Left to right, it's dead on. I guess you see some surface, just some edge wear, but really cool card, guys. What do we have this currently at bid over at REA? This is currently a 3,000 bid. The 50 Bowman card, I'm going to say this is my favorite Jackie Robinson card, more so than either of the rookies. JJ Spider says that is sweet, and I couldn't agree more. A Collector's Dream says there's a huge find of those uncut sheets. Very cool. Very cool Collector's Dream. Maybe you might know who found them or what the deal is with that. Would love to learn more, but that's awesome. So we've got a bunch of the old Judge cards here that we have featured here on the lot as well. I want to do a quick shout out to lot number 2890. So we're actually going to jump now off of the main screen. We're going to go to lot number 2890. Lot number, and I'm just going to type this in, guys. 2890. This is something, again, you don't always see, so I wanted to call this out. Again, as much as I love my vintage baseball, I know there's some football collectors. This is a different era than we typically talk about as well when it comes to vintage. This is 1986, but this is a sealed box of 1986 football, 1986 Topps football. All 36 packs are in here, sealed for the collector to choose what to do with. The current bid is $2,200. You might notice this iconic set border. Does anybody want to drop a comment and spill the beans on whose rookie card is in here? If not, I have no problem letting you guys in on it. It is Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice's rookie is in the 1986 Topps. So a Jerry Rice rookie could be sitting right there in that unopened wax box. So ton of fun. Yes, JJ Spider Rice. Thank you so much for the comment. So wanted to give a quick drop in over there on the Topps football. Father-son vintage sports. Rice. Yes, you got it. Jerry Rice. So yeah, we went over some of the 54 Topps cards as well, guys. I wanted to show off as well on this first page. One of the most asked about guys that's unfortunately not in the Hall of Fame. Feel free to drop your opinion on whether or not you think you should be or not. But one of the most commonly asked about guys on the channel, most collected guys on the channel is Pete Rose. The 1963 Topps card of Pete Rose features him in this kind of, I always thought this card is kind of funny looking, this bobblehead view. It's got Pedro Gonzalez, Ken McGullin, Al Weiss, but of course it has a young up-and-coming Pete Rose over on the Cincinnati Reds. This card's in a PSA 6 and is his most coveted card for any big Pete Rose collector. It is currently bid at $1,700. The back looks phenomenally clean on this. Really cool card. I've actually never owned this card. It's never been sold on my channel. But if you're interested in the PSA 6 excellent mint condition Pete Rose, it's lot number 38 over at the REA Auctions website. Hard to find that card centered for sure, no doubt. I do hear that all the time. And we do have another unopened sealed box, guys. This has become more popular as of late in terms of collecting. We've seen a lot of people really jump all over these sealed boxes from the older that you go. This is from 1980. This is a 1980 sealed box. There are 24 packs in this one. What makes this one so exciting, guys? The current bid is $2,400. This is really cool. Why is this so exciting? Who's rookies in 1980 Topps? Give it a second into the chat for the comments. This is something, man, to pull this rookie card out of a unopened box would be such a thrill. I know you guys know it. I'll drop it. There it is. Bambino got it. Ricky Henderson. So the current bid on this is $2,400. And guys, if you were to find a gem mint Ricky Henderson in this box, that's a $120,000 card. So somebody is in there at $2,400. Hey, that's a pretty good deal right now. That's pretty cool. Again, guys, there's a ton of these old Judge cards that I know has a lot of interest. I want to jump over to some more vintage basketball. And guys, we passed 10,000 likes. So thank you all so much for liking the stream. I'm getting tons of good engagement and feedback. So appreciate the community that's been rallying around this. We've got 3 minutes left. I want to show one more lot number, and then I'm going to go through the top guys one more time, and then we will end our coverage here on our REA coverage of the June auction. Guys, I hope you guys have been enjoying this. Would love to see some comments, some feedback on if you guys enjoyed this hour of coverage. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this, what your favorite cards were. If you have any feedback, appreciate it, both over on YouTube as well as here on TikTok. I mean, I can't appreciate all you guys for joining. So this is the last one we'll cover before we'll go to the top. And so Jerry West, this is a 61-62 Jerry West PSA 4. This is his rookie. The 61 Fleer set, this is the set for vintage basketball. So like the 52 Topps set is the set for vintage baseball. 1961 Fleer. This is an awesome set. This has the Jerry West rookie in a PSA 4. The current bid is $1,100. I'll show the back real quick for you guys. What an awesome card. If I were to get into vintage basketball, this would be the set that I would go after. So love that. Thank you all so much for the great comments. Collector's Dream says, thank you for the coverage. Amanda Hanglow, loved it. Thank you. I have a 1980 Ricky Henderson rookie. Kevin, that is awesome. Let me know what grade it is. Would love to hear. Robert Edwards, the first year Fleer did basketball. Yes, exactly that. The logo himself, absolutely loved it. Love all the positive comments in the chat, guys. As I said, we're wrapping up. This is the last minute we have of our coverage before we turn this over to the Bonkers Cards live broadcast. So everyone, please feel free to stick around. We did just pass 10,000 likes in the chat, guys. So thank you all so much. I will leave you with the flagship card here on this auction, the number one lot, the 1951 Bowman PSA 3. This is Mantle's true rookie. You can bid for it now over at REA auctions. It's $12,500 at the current bid. I want to give a shout out to all of you guys for joining and watching this tonight. This was our first ever partnership with REA. Feel free, drop a comment, shoot me a DM afterwards. Would love to hear your guys' feedback. But if you were interested in any of the cards that you saw here tonight on the broadcast, feel free to head over to robertedwardsauctions.com. Check out, get yourself an account set up, and start bidding on these cards. You've got an hour left to put your bids in before we go into the extended bidding period that will end this evening. And once this auction ends, guys, we do plan on having some more future promotions and partnerships with the REA team to cover their June, or I should say summer auctions in July, August, and September. Super cool to get to see that, guys. So check out their full schedule on their website. Very cool. JJ Spider says, I made a large purchase at REA in their last two auctions. Love their finds. JJ Spider, that is awesome. REA is a great auction house from Collector's Dream. Love to hear that feedback. For our guys over at Robert Edwards Auctions, thank you all for joining. If you guys want to drop any other comment before we end the show, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I will wrap this up here in just a moment. But again, I wanted to tell everybody to please stick around. I'm going to end this broadcast over on YouTube, and then I'm going to end it over here on TikTok. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And then I'm going to launch our festivities for the evening. So I do see JT said, hey, man, how did I do? JT, the break has not yet happened. We're going to do the break for the 1954 Topps complete set. Someone's taking home this PSA 4, Hank Aaron. This is going down on the Bonkers Cards YouTube channel. That is going to be happening at 9 p.m. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break now, guys. And then I've got a bunch of awesome cards that I wanted to show. Yeah, don't worry, JT, you didn't miss it. So please, guys, stick around. We are going to be going live again. Wanted to say thank you to Robert Edwards for having Bonkers Cards. The audience seems to have really liked it. So thank you all so much. Appreciate all of your guys' questions, comments, likes, shares. Appreciate it all so much. So thank you so much. And we will be back shortly for the rest of our content for this evening. Thank you, guys.